guys, so this is a bit of a long overdue video. I'm sorry that I did promise that I was going to be doing more regular videos and I haven't. I'm just not good at time management. I am one of the biggest procrastinators you will ever meet, and I even procrastinate from the things that I do in my spare time. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul and it's going to be split into two parts. I'm going to be doing my university book haul first. I'm going to be showing you some of the books that I'm doing for the two modules I'm studying this semester. And then the second part, I've got 4 books that I've brought over the past couple of weeks that I want to show you. The first module that I'm going to show you is Art of Crime. And basically this module charts crime fiction from Dostoevsky to Poe to Conan Doyle, and basically talks about the different ideologies and the different ways of writing crime fiction and how it has evolved since it first began. So I've got Thomas de Quincey's On Murder. This is a really interesting book. I've actually already done this. I'm actually doing my first essay for the module on this, and he basically talks about aesthetics and ethics and how murder can be seen as an art form, and it's just a really interesting take on murder by taking the morals and the ethics out of it. Can we actually see murder as an art form and admire it for how it's carried out? It's actually quite satirical as well, so that was quite a good read. This book is Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I can't say his name. I can't say half the names in this book. I'm actually halfway through this book. I was meant to have finished it for tomorrow. I'm going to read a little bit more later, but oh my days. People have told me that this book is really good, but I can't deal with the kind of internal monologue slash other people's points of view slash the main character having some sort of mental breakdown. It's just the narrative and how small the text is and just that put together. It's kind of hard for me to read. I'm really interested in the plot. I'm kind of liking the whole storyline. It's just the way the narrative is written that I'm not enjoying, which is a shame because I did want to start finishing uni books and not just half-heartedly reading them. So I've got my lecture on that tomorrow and I've only read half of it. And the last book I've got in physical form for this module is Patricia Highsmith's Ripley Underground. I really like this front cover. Normally when you get uni books, the front covers are really boring, but this one's actually quite cool. I don't actually have a clue what this is about. I know there are other stories concerning the Ripley character, and Lena at Just Kiss My Frog, she posted a blog post about the Ripley stories and she said they were quite boring, so I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. It's quite a nice short book. It's only 200 something pages long, which is nice because I like short books when I've got to read them for uni. So I don't think we do this until quite late on in the module. But yeah, I've got all the books for the module on my Kobo. There is The Man Who Was Thursday, which I've already read and I really enjoyed that. It was quite funny. Fantomas, which I think was originally in French and is a kind of detective story. I've had to read some Poe, Agatha Christie and Conan Doyle. And I think that's it for the module, I think. So I'm going to move on to the next one. The next module is Modernism. And yes, you are right, if you hear modernism and you are filled with dread even though you may not understand what it is, you are right, because this module is really interesting. It's basically based on theory, critical theory, which is not my strong point, but it is really interesting, and the lecturer who holds this module, who's like hosts this module, is really into it, so it is quite interesting. It's just very hard to understand, and I'm going to show you the beast of a book that I have to take to uni with me on a Friday when I go to the lecture, and this is Modernism, an anthology, which is edited by Lawrence Rainey. And look at the size of the thing, and it's basically a collection of stuff like lectures and stories and poems from the main people who were part of the modernist movement. For example, I've had to study Eggs for a Pound and that Hugh Slewin Mobley poem, which I never even got through because it just didn't make sense. I've had to look at Marionetti and the Founding Manifesto of Futurism. I've also had to read a bit of Wyndham Lewis and his short story Bestra. I'm going to have to look at T.S. Eliot for tomorrow, which I'm quite looking forward to because Wasteland, I've actually come into contact with that before and I did quite enjoy what we did about it, so Wasteland is what I've got to do tomorrow. It is quite long though. Everything's quite long when you're at university, but yeah, I have to carry that with me to uni on a Friday. This book is Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. Now, James Joyce is notoriously hard to read, but I'm about 80 pages into this book and I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. So I'm quite shocked that I'm liking James Joyce after not liking Dostoevsky, because people think he's easier to read, but he's Russian, so I disagree. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it's quite a short book. I've actually missed the lecture for this, but I think I might still finish it at some point because I'm quite interested to see how the whole story plans out. So yeah, that's that one. And then the next one is The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. I have no idea what this is about. I've heard of it, but I don't have any idea what this is about, so I can't really discuss it because I haven't had the lecture on it yet. The next one is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and oh, why can't all uni books be this thin? Why? Why? So I think this is based around a dinner party or some kind of... It's based around one day, anyway. It says her thoughts and sensations on that one day and the interior monologues of others whose lives are interwoven with hers gradually reveal the characters of the central protagonists. So, because that's so short, I'm quite looking forward to reading that, because that will take me about 2 hours, I'm hoping, to read, and then I'll be able to, you know, do other things with uni. And the last book I've got in physical form for Modernism is Nightwood by, I think it's Juna Barnes. I don't know how to pronounce the first name. I've actually got to do a presentation on this, which again is quite small, so I'm hoping that it's going to be quite an easy read. It documents the lives of Americans and Europeans in Paris in the decadent Roaring Twenties. So that actually sounds really cool because the 20s was such a cool era. So I'm quite glad that I'm going to be doing a presentation on something that's going to be set in quite a cool area. It says the novel's rich, evocative language, exquisite craftsmanship and penetrating insight into obsessive passion has made it a classic of the 20th century literature. So it does actually sound quite interesting, so I think I've got quite a good book to do a presentation on. The fact that I hate doing presentations we will just put to one side. So I do have, I think I've got Sons and Lovers, or it might be Women in Love by D.H. Lawrence on my Kobo to read for Modernism, and there is another one but I can't remember what it's called. I've had to buy about 16 books and it's cost me about £80. So the next part is, and they've all just fell off. Can you tell I haven't done this for a while? Are the books that I've just brought randomly. There are a few second-hand books that I've brought that I was going to show you, but I'm kind of not excited about them anymore, so I'm not going to include them. So these are the 4 books that are kind of not uni related in my book haul. So yesterday I brought The Help by Catherine Stockett. I actually watched the film the other week and I really enjoyed it. It made me cry, it made me really think about, you know, how it was back then. And I'm always interested in American history, particularly when all the racial stuff was happening. So I'm really interested to see what differs from the book and what differs from the film. I do really, really love the film, so I'm hoping that I'm going to love the book as much, because I hate it when I watch the film and then it ruins the book, but because of how good the film was, I'm hoping it won't. And keeping in the theme of book to movie adaptations, I brought myself a copy of Les Miserables. I haven't actually seen the film yet, and I think I might wait until I've read the book to see it, because I'm not really familiar with the story of Les Miserables. Which is quite shocking to see how long it's been around, but this book is absolutely massive. It's massive. It is 1,231 pages long, this book. I do like picking my big books, don't I? But I'm quite looking forward to reading it, because I know it's such a famous story and I know that it's such an emotional story, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And I do, for once, love the movie cover of the book, because I just think it's very pretty. Normally they're not that nice, so I'm quite looking forward to reading that. The third book I actually picked up in my local Costa. In my Costa they have a bookshelf of not many books, but they sell them for 50p or £1 if they're a hardback. And I picked this up while I was sat with my mum, and she rolled her eyes at me because, again, it's another book. So it is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. And I've actually never heard of this book before, but when I read the back it sounded exactly like what I like to read. It's about magic and magicians and set in 1806, so it's historical as well, so I really, really do think I'm going to enjoy it, and yet again, it is another massive book. The last book in my book haul is actually one that I got for Valentine's Day, and it is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and oh wow, look at that. This is such a really, really pretty edition. It's from Waterstones, and you get a little detachable bookmark from the cover as well. I first read The Great Gatsby when I was doing my A-levels, in my first year of A-levels, and I did my essay on the unreliable narrator. And I've actually lost my copy. I had the Penguin Classics, I think, copy of it. The one with it's a penguin one. It's the one where it shows Daisy, I think, lying down on the sofa or something like that. But this, I saw this on the Waterstones website and I was like, oh wow, it's so pretty. And it was really cheap. It was only £15, which I think for this kind of hardback kind of special edition is quite cheap. So my boyfriend brought me that for Valentine's Day. And I'm really looking forward to reading it. Again, I'm keeping within the theme of book to movie adaptations because this is also coming out, I'm not sure when, and Leonardo DiCaprio's The Great Gatsby, which I'm quite looking forward to, but I'm going to reread it before I go see the film. So that is my kind of random end of February, middle of February book haul. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit messy and I didn't really speak that eloquently. I haven't actually recorded a video since I did my last book haul, so I'm kind of out of practice. So hopefully if I get back into it I won't be saying so many and it won't look so messy, I'm guessing. So anyway, I shall see you next time. Bye.